You can bet your bottom dollar. Great programming coming up next on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Stand by. Hold on. Talk at its finest, coming up next on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. In about 2 minutes, stand by. We know what guys are talking about. Stand by. A great show coming up next on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. In about 30 seconds. Stand by. Don't go away. Stop. If they're talking about it at the barbershop, we're talking about it here on SME. Great show coming up in about 30 seconds. Don't go away. Stand by. It's time. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Another great product on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Yeah!
Warning. Listening to the Doug Stewart Show may cause sore throat from arguing about sports so much, increased knowledge of sports and sports issues, short tolerance for BS sports shows, you will start referring to yourself as a Stewie, consistent visits to the Doug Stewart Show chat room to talk ish, a sudden craving for boiled peanuts, fellas, better luck with the ladies, better luck with the fellas, a deeper appreciation for 80s and 90s hip-hop music, and an uncontrollable urge to donate money to the Doug Stewart Show. We thank you for listening. Enjoy.
Ain't nothing but against the party.
I'm going to give it to you raw, no Vaseline.
What?
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
And that's figuratively, not literally, because I don't get down like that. You know what I mean. The realest, the trillest sports talk show in America. The Doug Stewart Show. All right, let's go, Stewies. Let's go. Good morning. What's happening? Welcome to the Doug Stewart Show. This is a Throwback Thursday. Thank you so much for joining your boy. I really do appreciate it. Shouts out and good morning to all of the Stewies. Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in. July 7th, 2016. A lot to get into today, man. Puff, bring it back for your boy one more time. Bring it back. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in to the Doug Stewart Show, the realest, trillest sports and guy talk show in America. Yes. Good morning, Stewies. You might be saying to yourself, what's a Stewie if you're new to the show? A Stewie is a listener, man. I'll explain to you a little bit more, man. This is the Doug Stewart Show and the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. If you're new to this show and the network, once again, SME, I need you to do a couple of things. I need you to go to stewartmedia, Media and Entertainment, or The Doug Stewart Show, on Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker.com. It's speaker with an R. All right, go to Spreaker.com. Once you find The Doug Stewart Show, hit the follow button. That's very important that you do that. That way, whenever this show or any other show goes live, you will be alerted. All right, make sure you do that. And the next thing you need to do is click on the chat bubble. There's a little illustration of a comic book chat bubble. You click on that, and then you enter into a whole new world of sports and guy talk and chat. We call it the fantasy island of sports and guy chat, and its inhabitants, the people inside that chat room, the best chat room in the world, are the Stewies. That's right. Good morning, Stewies. So join in on the fun, man. We have the best time on this show, man. We do Dougie Dailies, which is like the question of the day. We do top fives every once in a while. We talk birthdays, entertainment. I read a lot of the chat. The Stewies are kind of like my co-hosts, my wingmen. And so we have a great time all day for 2 hours at least, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time right here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, okay? So I'll get to some of your chat throughout the show if you're new, and you'll see how we do things. Today is July 7th, 2016. It's a Throwback Thursday. A lot to get into. Still some NBA free agency stuff. Some big news on Dwayne Wade. We'll talk about that. Aisha Curry's in the news. Ray Allen. Richard Jefferson's in the news. John Bones Jones. Wow. We'll talk about that. Colin Kaepernick speaks out. SEC Media Days right around the bend. We'll get into that. And we'll take your phone calls and read your chat and do everything that we do around here. Shouts out to my man Marcus Harper, man, for the Marcus Harper Sports Talk Show with Soul. Preceded me this morning. Great stuff, Marcus. Man, we really got some talented people, man, with some great shows on SME. So Marcus Harper, we started this show a little bit early this morning. He had almost like an hour and a half that he did this morning, talking about all the past things from the last couple of weeks. He hadn't been on for a while. So shouts out to my man Marcus Harper, Sports Talk with Soul. Today, following this show, we've got the Barbershop Sports Talk podcast, Trey and Maestro. They're obviously going to be talking about everything sports related for the last week or so. I don't think they were on last week either. And so they've got 2 weeks of stuff to get off their chest. So stay tuned to that. And then following the Barbershop Sports Talk podcast, man, a special episode of the Kicking It with Kesey show, man. And Kesey talks about some of the tragic events that have happened over the last couple of days, man. And he just had to do a show, so he's going to come on today, man, and talk about, you know, what's been going on in this country. Speaking of which, man, you know, it's tough to do this type of show when you have things going on socially in this country. Like we've had in the last couple of days, and obviously you know about Alton Sterling killed by police down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and then last night, just an incredible video, man, of Philando Castillo getting killed in the St. Paul, Minnesota area, and his girlfriend videotaped it, and just it's just crazy, man, and you know. It's almost like we're numb to this at this point because it's happened so much. I mean, over the last couple of years, seemingly, like the last 5 years have been crazy, all starting with Trayvon Martin. Man, then you talk about Freddie Gray, Tamir Rice, Mike Brown. Like the names just roll off your tongue. Walter Scott in Charleston. It's just unbelievable, man. Rest in peace. And listen, I'm struggling to come up for words, man, because we've done this so much, and it seems like nothing changes. It seems like absolutely nothing has changed. Black men in this country are being hunted like animals, worse than animals. I remember when the whole gorilla ape thing happened a couple of weeks ago, maybe a couple of months now, and you know, you remember the big outpouring of support for the damn gorilla. You remember, like, people put together a petition. I think the Animal Society or whatever, PETA, they put together a petition, man, to try to bring up charges on the parents of the boy that went down into the gorilla habitat. And they had, like, over 300,000 signatures. for a freaking gorilla, for an animal. Mike Vick spent years of his life in jail for some stinking ass dogs. Okay? And listen, I don't have anything against dogs. I love dogs. I love animals. We got a dog. I love animals, period. The damn gorilla was in a bad situation, but the gorilla had to go before a freaking kid. But you got 300,000 signatures for that? Mike Vick went to jail for years because of some dogs. All right, he was wrong. It was stupid. I have to put that out there. I have to put that caveat out there. It was dumb. It was stupid. But that man went to jail for 3 years. These cops, in effect, murdered these two boys, man, these two young men. Murdered them. And it's on videotape. The Alton Sterling video is just so disturbing. I can't even, it's just unbelievable, man. I don't know what's going to have to change in this country, man. But whatever we're doing ain't working. I remember talking about this, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. And I promise you, man, today I'm going to talk about this a little bit, and we'll move on to a degree. You can post your thoughts in the chat room, and I'll read your chat. That's what we do around here Monday through Friday, right here on the Doug Stewart Show. But for the most part, man, you want to listen to this show kind of like as an escape from your job, from everything else you have going on in your life. And I know every time a tragedy happens, we say the same thing, but it's true. It holds true still. So we'll get to sports. We're talking about 2001 and everything, but I just need to say this, man. I remember a couple of months ago, maybe it was the last tragedy. Maybe it was Freddie Gray or Walter Scott. I can't even remember at this point. And I remember telling y'all that, like, one of my biggest fears is just getting stopped by the police. Okay? It's just getting stopped by the police. It's not that I do something to put myself in a bad situation. I'm in a nightclub or I do something insubordinate and I get stopped and I get in a bad position as far as, getting shot by anybody or in particular by police. It's just getting stopped by the police. This story, man, with Philando Castile, the way his girlfriend tells it, is dude told the police he had a weapon. The police told him to go and get his wallet or get his information. When going for his information, the dude shot him 4 times. Are you freaking kidding me? And so I always, like whenever I pass a policeman on the highway, I always look back. I've been doing that ever since I was probably 15 years old. Just a very suspect of police in general based on the history of this country and how they do us. But more recently, man, when I look back and make sure that the cop isn't turning around in the street and coming to stop me, like instantly I go into like defense mode. Like, if this dude stops me, what am I going to do? Like it's crossed my mind not to even stop, just to go to some populated area where there are witnesses there, where the cop can't, say that I said this or I did this, and that's why he shot my ass. You understand? Because clearly, every time a policeman kills one of these young dudes, they don't have a body camera. Magically. The police down in Louisiana, magically, both of their cameras on their person weren't working. They were malfunctioning. What? The guy in Minnesota, he kills the dude, Philando Castile, and he doesn't have a camera. But luckily, man, these cats, everybody's got a camera on their phone. Imagine if this was 30 years ago, when everybody didn't have a camera on their phone. All of these incidences that we've been talking about over the last 4 or 5 years, starting with Trayvon, Freddie Gray, Mike Brown, Walter Scott, all of them, the police would have just said, oh, well, I felt threatened, or he went for a gun, and that would have been it. That would have been it. So can you imagine how many times that's happened in the history of this country? I'm talking post-civil rights. I'm not even talking about pre-civil rights. I'm talking post-civil rights. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how many innocent ninjas been killed for some BS? Castile's mama did an interview talking about how her and her son always talked about, complying to whatever the police say. You comply, you do whatever they tell you, and they still kill your ass?